So hello everybody, welcome back to the Midlands Outdoors Day, back with another episode, which is actually another one that I want to show you today. It is a big journey, I have got a bit of a way to go, but I'm just by the old disused Lapal Canal line which went all the way up to Selly Oak. And you may wonder what has happened to this and the way it's actually gone. And now I've covered this many times in the past, and if I just turn around to show you, you can just see all the canal line down here is all disused, look. I mean, there is brick wall stuff just over to the back over to there, but there is like little bits and pieces when you get down to the Halesowen Park. But wow, you just imagine when all the barges actually come all the way through this. And actually I will tell you a bit of history and a bit about this as well. But absolutely lovely day as well today. It is absolutely sunny, beautiful to go up to Woodgate Valley. So yeah, I believe they are going to restore this canal line. There was actually proposed plans to put a route back through it. I don't know how they're going to do it, whether they're going to put the route coming back somehow round to this way. It would be interesting to see what I'm going to do, but I do know they're restoring the Selly Oak section. They are doing quite a bit of work to it. So you never know in the future what it might actually bring, because you know, if they do restore the canal line, you could just imagine it would actually bring quite a lot of wildlife down to here. And it'll be a nice walk as well if there was water back into this once more. But you can tell though how there was like a canal line right the way through this, because it actually goes down onto like a steep bank down there, so you can just see the other side down that corner, just right the way down to the bottom. And it obviously goes all the way. If you've been to the Halesowen this way, you will see the canal line keeps going. It'll bend round, because it did used to link up to Horn Basin at one point when it was used back in the Black Country days. But I'm going to walk down here now. I'm going to show you the sign which is right the way on the corner down there, so it's going to tell you a bit of history about it, and we'll keep journeying our way on after that. But yeah, I mean, Halesowen Abbey is quite really an important place for the Halesowen area as well. So I do know there's quite a lot of history up to there with it. That's another interesting place. But the sign where it tells you about the restoration is just literally just around that corner down to the bottom. Let's go and show you. So yeah, with this, I mean, you can tell it didn't actually look like the canal actually went through here. Now it is strange how I know it goes down the bank right down the bottom, but it's just completely all overgrown here. But it's like goes steep up, whether they put soil on top of it, and it's just all overgrown with all this to here. But you just imagine the canal actually went all the way down through the housing estate, right the way at the bottom. I will show you the proposed route of where it went to. I do know the Lapal Canal went all the way down by the Black Horse, which was right the way at the bottom. And there was the old Halesowen train line as well, which is quite interesting. There is much history behind that, and that used to run all the way to the back of there, goes all the way past Bibby's farm and to Huntington Station. So you can just tell the amount of history what's in the Halesowen area and to learn about. But this is the information of the restoration of the Lapal Canal. Yeah, this is the restoration. You can see restoration of the Dudley No. 2 canal, opening in 1798, linking Netherton to Selly Oak. This section from Mucklow Hill to Manor Way, which you can just see there, the route which actually used to go all the way down. So we're here. The canal actually went further down, just over there where I'm looking. It would have gone straight the way to the bottom. But that is pretty interesting the way it's gone. But it does actually split off into a section here as well. Now if I'm looking down, I will take a look at later, Cloister Drive, so it pans around somewhere down there. But looking there though, it says this, the plan above shows the route of the canal. It starts just behind Horn Basin, a popular marina for boats managed by the Coonswood Trust on behalf of its members. The next length of the canal remains under the ownership of the Canal and River Trust, currently partly built over and leased to a factory. The canal then passed under Haywood Bridge. This has been infilled and remains under one of the carriageways of the new Mucklow Hill dual carriageways. Oh wow, that's quite interesting. And then it crosses famous Shenstone Garden designed by William Shenstone. So you can just see there, this is based on the Halesowen itself. William Shenstone was a renowned English poet and one of the earliest practitioners of landscape gardening. Through the development of his estate, the Halesowen, where he was born, William Shenstone, 1714 to 1763. So you can just see a picture of an early view of the garden in 1760. Wow. And you can see there photos showing recreational use in 1955 to 1965. Pleasure boats ran until the 1940s, and in 1954 the canal from Hayward Bridge to the west port of Lapal Tunnel was sold to the Halesowen Council by the British Transport Commission. It was dredged in the 1950s. It was once popular for rowing boats and fishing, whether many of the people will know quite a lot behind that. Many of the older generations will know a bit about the rowing boats and stuff. But you can just tell with the canal itself, they have done restores over the past as well, because you can just see pictures of restoration down by where the embankment is opposite the by the Halesowen down there. And it does say the coming of the M5 in the 1960s meant more infilling, and the smaller section of the Halesowen was reduced to fishing only. In the 1990s, with 50% of European funding, a 200,000 restoration by Dudley Metropolitan Borough Council. The sides were repaired with reinforced concrete with pond liner used for the base. Workers completed in the 1990s. Subsequently, there were problems with the liner which resulted in leaks, which you can just see there. Look at that, and that there as well, look. So Halesowen Abbey Trust, Coomswood Trust, the West Midlands branch of the Inner Waterways Association, as well as the Lapal Canal Trust, have shared interest in restoring the canal. Halesowen Abbey Trust are responsible for restoring the Halesowen walled garden. Options for restoration are detailed in Atkins' 2007 report. Our current objective is to reinstate the link so that the Halesowen can be used for boat mooring, fishing, and be an attractive area for visitors for walking and cycling. It will eventually be extended the link with the canal in Selly Oak. Immediate progress is now more focused on Selly Oak and the end implementation of the Sainsbury's link. So you know, I know the canal goes all the way to Selly Oak, it goes past the Sainsbury's over there, and they have been doing restoration to it. I have seen some things online which is really interesting, just to see what they're going to do with the canal line. But you can just imagine once more, if they ever do restore the canal and it goes right the way down the bottom, that'll just be absolutely amazing just to see that once more. You know, the canal dates back quite that many years. I used to imagine how it was used for the industry as well back in the Black Country days, when all the goods were transported up and down. You had the coal mines running, you know, all the old industry that was around here, because Halesowen around the surrounding areas was prosperous for coal mining as well. So you had Coomswood Colliery, Horn Colliery, and that's why Horn Basin was built as well, to serve the old Horn Colliery, which is one of the oldest coal mines in the Halesowen area. Quite interesting actually reading all this, and we will go over to the other side on where the Halesowen Abbey is. I will tell you a bit more about Lapal Tunnel, and we'll go over a bit more information for you, because there's that much you can talk about it online. I've seen old photos and stuff, but yes, go and journey our way down. We haven't got too far, it's just literally just right in front and then over the Manaway Road. So yeah, I don't know whether the canal actually used to go down to here on the right and it went straight over, because on the map it does appear that it does. But you can see today it's just a little park area now, and you've got all the housing estate which is all the way at the back. It leads the Monarch's Way path which we're joining onto, and that goes all the way down to the Illy line section where the old train is, what I've covered before. But it's not too far to get to the Manor, it's just round the corner. So yeah, this is it. This is the public footpath, the Monarch's Way, which leads us all the way to Halesowen Abbey, which you can just see from the Manor Way. That comes all the way up by the sandbank, and just literally cross over and get over to it. So let's go over the other side. You may have seen this place before when I did the Halesowen train line section, which is quite interesting just to see all this land, because Halesowen Abbey is really, really old. It is a shame you can't really get close to it. I don't know whether you used to be able to at one point, but there isn't much there now. Halesowen Abbey is just ruins. It's just a couple of walls now. But you can just imagine what Halesowen Abbey may have looked like back many, many years ago. I mean, the history behind it, wow, there is quite a bit about it online. It does tell you from the Historic England website, because there is around the corner some very old pools what was situated there, and I've mentioned this before on another video. Many people have said, yeah, there possibly could have been pools there, because when you look down you will see dips and drops. Now, how I know there's a pool there, because there's like little banks going up, and it looks like section to section. I will show in a bit, because Whether you think it is, then if you want to, feel free to drop it in the comments, that's up to you. But that over there, I just would love to see what's close into there though, because there is other extension bits at the back, but it's owned by the house at the back. They have all the land, and well, I've heard that I don't like people getting up close to it. But it is a shame though, you can't really get close up to that wall. Let's have a quick look. And what's mysterious as well, I have heard stories about Hayden Park, the last video what I've done, the old tunnels what went under. Apparently there was tunnels that ran from Halesowen, the Hayden Hill, all the way under Halesowen, and come all the way under here to the Abbey. I don't know how true it is, I don't really know. I can't really tell you if it's true or not, because there isn't much resources online telling you about these tunnels. But yeah, this is the grounds up to now where Halesowen Abbey is situated. You can just imagine what this was like back in the old days, whether many people would know what the grounds were all like, what Halesowen was like altogether. Coal mines running in the distance, all your industry. But today things have changed so much, because the Black Country days were so important. It was hard working, hard living, and you know, back then, you know, £10 was quite a lot of money. So yeah, finding out online, I found some really interesting information for you. Let's see if I can actually tell you. Sorry about the sun though, when I get a bit of a better position to tell you. In 1214, King John gave the manor of Hales, Shropshire, to Peter des Roches, Bishop of Winchester, to build where a religious house of whatever order he pleased. The Abbey at Halesowen was established 4 years later, dedicated to the Virgin and St John the Evangelist. Looking down, so it says the White Canons. The Abbey was colonised by canons from the existing pre-monastation monastery at Welbeck, Nottinghamshire. The pre-monasterians were not monks in strict sense, but rather communities of priests living together under the rule of the order. The order followed of the Cistercians, valuing the austere and secluded life, if I said those right. They became known as the White Canons, as they dressed in undyed habits. For more than 300 years, the monks controlled a vast estate around Halesowen, although an uprising by the local people against the abbot is recorded after he forced them to pay a series of punitive taxes. The monastery acted by resting point for pilgrims to nearby St Canal's Church, Romsey, said to have been built near this site where Canal, King of Mercia, had been martyred. The waters of St Canal Spring were thought to have healing properties. Oh wow. Dissolution of Halesowen Abbey. The abbey with all its possession was surrendered to the crown by its last abbot William Taylor in 1538, and 2 years later the monastic buildings were partly demolished. So you can just see what it's actually like today. So most of it's fell down, part of it's been demolished, but there is some other things here. So it does say that Henry III granted the Abbey estate to Sir John Dudley, who passed it to his servant George Tuckey. Parts of the monastic buildings were incorporated into the north part of Manor Farm. The Abbey came into the guardianship of the state in 1915. So yeah, quite interesting. It tells you about the fish ponds which were down the bottom. They were originally situated within a rectangular precinct, defined by man-made fish ponds to the south and north and southwest by water-filled ditches. Let's go and show you them in a minute for you. And it's quite a lot of information behind Halesowen Abbey, the way it dates back, the way it was actually used. Just imagine if there was Pacific tunnels under there running to Hayden Hill. Don't know. It is a mysterious thing that I would love to know altogether. So yeah, this is actually the pools what I was on about. Really interesting. You can just imagine what these would have been like. Looks like there would have been one here, one at the back down there, and another one right the way over the other back. Let's go and take a look. They are interesting to talk about, really. I do know. You can tell the way something used to be by looking at the side, and that's just a dead giveaway that there was definitely some water system of a pool, because you can just see there where it goes like that, and also it goes on this side as well, so it's making it so the bottom's flat a bit. But I know there is like a little stream down there going right the way down, and it's not covered with tree line now. But this is actually where one of the pools was situated, because it dates back that quite a bit. When the water was drained from it, it's just left the sides here like this. It's taking a look at something. I don't know what this is. Oh, it's just a bit of concrete. I do know there is somewhere over here onto the back. There is a vent. What used to be there for the Lapal Tunnel, some sort of vent there, but I think it's been covered with soil now. I will place a map on for you now where the Lapal Tunnel was actually situated, so you can just see. It is really interesting. But keep going down, I will show you more about it. I'm going to tell you a bit of history now about Lapal Tunnel, so we can give you an overview of what it's all about. So yeah, Lapal Tunnel. Put some photos on for you now what Lapal Tunnel was actually like. You can just see the inside of it going right the way in one of the tunnels. One here as well, another photo, and another photo inside. Absolutely wonderful just to see the photos there, because the tunnel closed in 1917, which is dating back way back a bit. It had a tunnel clearance of 6 feet, 1.8 metres. So Lapal Tunnel is a disused 3,795 canal tunnel on the 5-mile dry section of the Dudley No. 2 Canal. You may have seen the Dudley No. 2 Canal when I did the video or back over that time. Really pretty interesting. You had all the old industry, Stewarts and Lloyds. Quite a lot of interesting stuff to learn over there really. It's fantastic for the history. Let me take a quick look at this just to get a bit more info. So the tunnel was constructed in 1798, so you can see how far that dates back a bit. But I do know the reason why it closed, it was unstable. There was like subsidences collapsing into the tunnel. So looking down, it was designed by William Underhill. He was the design engineer. It had no towpath. It wasn't passable by boat like you've got Netherton Tunnel. It was just a small section. Looking down, this is a 1955 Ordnance Survey map of the west portal of the tunnel, the top one, and this is a 1955 Ordnance Survey map of the east portal of the tunnel. Looking down to history, the narrow brick line tunnel built in 1798 by William Underhill had no towpath. It had a very small bore at 7 feet to 9 inches, barely wider than the boats which used it. With a headroom of only 6 feet, boats originally took about 3 hours to complete the passage by legging, or I think that's polling. So in 1841 a steam engine was built at the Halesowen end, which drove a scoot wheel to load the tunnel with water. Stop gates could be opened at either end to stop to assist boats along the tunnel in either direction. The tunnel suffered many collapses, and after the collapse in 1917 due to the mining subsidence which I mentioned, it was abandoned. It runs under the Lapal, the M5 motorway near Junction 3, and Woodgate Valley Country Park, which we're heading. That's why I'm actually heading to Woodgate Valley, because the tunnel actually goes under there. So the canal between Halesowen and Selly Oak is disused, and some sections have been filled in as the tunnel was considered uneconomic to repair. A short unnavigable length remains in the grounds, the Halesowen. Once a garden belonged to the poet William Shenstone. 1714 to 1763, and now a public park and golf course. To the north of Halesowen, the canal is in good repair and is used by boats accessing Horn Basin. The canal north of Halesowen includes Gosler Hill Tunnel at 557 yards. It is much shorter than Lapal Tunnel. It was built at the same time and has similar cross-sectional dimensions. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Looking at that, yeah, absolutely wonderful just to tell you a bit of history about Lapal Tunnel. Let's go and walk further down. Let's go and show the potential site where Lapal Tunnel was actually situated. So this is actually the whereabouts of the Lapal Tunnel. Now looking through here, think it is this bit here. Right, you can just see over there, I think it's somewhere over there. Now there used to be a manhole cover that was it was soiled over, like a load of sort. Now I can tell as well there is like a bit of a bank that's coming all the way down. That looks potential where the canal line would have been situated, because all on top of that it's been filled with tons and tons of soil, because the canal would have met in just a bit bottom down there where the tunnel entrance would have gone right the way in. But I do believe that the entrance is just somewhere over there onto the fields now. I think it is there anyway, judging by the map, because it goes at the back of this lot here onto the next field. It's just at the back of there. But you can just imagine how far that tunnel actually went now. It is pretty much really amazing, because you're going all the way the back over to there, under Woodgate Valley. Wow, pretty much a distance. But to get to Woodgate Valley now, it isn't actually really too far. We've only got to walk up the main road now, up to it. But you can see there is like disused caravan parts there. It's bits and pieces just behind there when you look. That's where it is actually situated, and I found that out. So yeah, absolutely interesting though, talk to you about the history of the Halesowen Abbey, Lapal Tunnel. Because you know, this route is a really nice one to do if you've never walked it. Because it comes to the junction now, you can walk from the down to the bottom down there, the corner where the manor way is, and come onto this section. But wow, beautiful countryside over here. And we're going to turn up, and it should bring us up to the road, right to the way to the top, and then opposite the motorway and straight to Woodgate Valley Country Park, which isn't too far. Oh, I've made it. Got right the way to the top of that road now. And I'm going to sit down on the bench for a little bit. I'm going to take a break, and then we'll head down to the road and get onto Woodgate Valley. So yeah, coming up to a junction now. This is actually the motorway coming right the way over. You can just see it down there. Quite busy at the moment. This is the junction that's taking you now to Woodgate Valley, just over the side. Look, well, we'll get a bit of cinematics for you so you can just look at that. Using the motorway. That's the junction there. What goes all the way to, if you cut off to Halesowen in that section down the bottom, little junction down to the manor way. And you've got that way there, which takes you to Bromsgrove and Worcester on the motorway, and the M42 to Birmingham and London. London's 123 mile away. Actually, no, is it actually? Yeah, it is. 123 miles to London. Wow. So yeah, I don't know whether you remember my old video dating back way back a bit. Just right in front there was abandoned houses. You can just see there is slight remains left now. There was on the back demolishing them quite a while ago. But wow, it's nice to see how they was up and now they've come down just like that. Look, we'll get a bit of a closer looks for you just to show you by the fence line. But yeah, that was them. I'll just have a quick look to show you. You can just see one of the door entrances. It's all been flattened now. I do believe they're building the car park onto here, I think, which you can see all the old brickwork that was in the garden right at the back, the old toilets at the back of it, and the old side of the wall to the gardens. It was interesting. I've been into these, and it's nice to see the old-fashioned stuff that was inside it. So yeah, this is Woodgate Valley. Got a sign there saying Bournebrook, Harborne and Selly Oak, Waterview Lane. So this is the way I come to Woodgate. You can take other entrances to Woodgate Valley when you come by the animal farm as well. But this one is a nice route because you've always got the wildlife down this bit. There's always something to see if you've got a nice camera to take some stunning shots of the bird life. But you can hear them now singing. You can hear your basic birds like your blue tits. Seen loads of robins I've seen today. And you do get your woodpeckers up here, surprisingly enough. It's quite a lot today, and especially the weather being nice as well. It's bringing all the wildlife out. So yeah, Woodgate Valley Farm, if you've never been, I don't know whether it's still there, I don't know. Because it's been years since I've been. They have all the animals outside which you can go and take a look at. Oh, it actually is, it's over the back over there. It is the one place to go and take a look at if you've never been around it. It's been years since I've been though, but it is quite interesting once more to see that. I think to get to that you have to go the back way, which is the other side, and you come into the urban farm. But it's lucky what that is, that's a riding centre I think, yeah. So let's keep walking this way. This is a side path taking us right into the Woodgate. Right. Oh wow, yeah, there's a little stream down there as well, look at that. A little stream flowing all the way down. Reminds me of the River Stour a little bit. And that is actually following us all the way down to the bottom of Woodgate. Look at that. But you just hear the bird noises when you come down, it's just wonderful. Especially just come and take a general stroll. If you've got nothing to do, this is one walk that I do advise. It is quite nice over here. I will tell you a bit of information about Woodgate in a bit, about it. But it's looking down there once more. Quite a few trees what I fell down, that's an old one there. The water isn't too deep in this little stream. So yeah, I do think you can get to Selly Oak from this way, because obviously Lapal Tunnel goes straight through Woodgate Valley, so it is kind of a shortcut if you can manage to get to the other end of it. It might be preferable on bike because you can get a bike down to here and ride it, but it is nice to go there as well. Someone's told me to go and check out the canal section down there because there is much history and it ties into the Halesowen section. It's definitely worth a look, I think. But looking in each tree, see if I can spot anything. I don't have my camera with me today to zoom into the wildlife, but just looking around. Wow, it's just lovely and peaceful. So yeah, I do have a bit of information based on Woodgate Valley. So it says Woodgate Valley was established as a country park in 1984, combining the remaining areas of farmland that had survived the extensive urban development of the 1960s and 70s. It lies within the modern areas of Woodgate, Bartley Green, Wheeler Castle and Quinton, before becoming part of the city of Birmingham in 1911. The area now covered by the country park was actually split between 3 counties, 3 parishes and 5 different townships. The Bourne Brook marked the ancient parish boundary between Northfield, which was part of the Worcestershire, and the parishes of Halesowen, part of the Shropshire and Worcestershire, and Harborne, part of Staffordshire to the north and the west. Halesowen, which until 1840 was a detached part of Shropshire, was a large parish that subdivided, and it says there, divided into several townships, the following of which came to form part of Woodgate Valley Country Park: Lapal, which lay to the west of Lie Close Lane, Watery Lane; Whalley, which lay east of the small brook and was itself divided between Whalley, Wigan in Shropshire and Whalley, Salop in Shropshire. Looking down, so the early history, though the earliest detailed maps from the area date from the 19th century, there are numerous clues to the history of Woodgate Valley before this time. It's likely that the Bourne Brook has long since been a great local importance, both as a water source and also an important landmark marking the ancient county boundary between Worcestershire, Staffordshire and Warwickshire. It's a bit of information about Bronze Age remains. So it says the earliest evidence of human activity in this area comes from the Bronze Age, with the presence of 2 burnt mounds recorded next to the Bourne Brook, one of which near to the Wilderness Farm has been radiocarbon dated to about 2020 BC. In addition, part of the bronze flat axe blade, thought to date from 2000 BC to 600 BC, was also discovered near Stonehouse Road. So there is medieval moats. The rich and productive soil of the meadows either side of Bourne Brook would have long been important, and the landscape here is known to have been farmed since the medieval times. Evidence of human settlement in and around Woodgate at this time includes 3 potential medieval moated sites, including a moat associated with the former moat farm. In addition, just the south of the Bourne Brook, in the moat meadow, it is thought that there would have been an extensive moat system surrounding wooden farm buildings. The remains of the moat are still visible today, particularly in the wet weather when it forms a pond. It's thought that the moats in the Woodgate area probably date from the 12th and 13th century. While there is quite a lot on this really, woodland, it says Woodgate and the surrounding area would have relatively well wooded in comparison to other parts of Birmingham. So basically in 1840 a map shows some quite large areas of woodland, and earlier maps such as a map in 1822 of Worcestershire, and the field names give additional clues to woodlands which would have been cleared just before this time. So quite a lot onto it. I mean, there is like different things. You got £5 wood. So what's this on actually? This is pretty interesting. £5 wood stood just south of the Bourne Brook to the northeast of Nonsuch Farm. It is shown on the Worcestershire map of 1822, but 1840 it had been cleared to make way for arable land, though its name lived on in the name of the field. Some of the outer boundary trees of the wood may still survive as Assart woodland. Wow, so there's quite a lot on there. If you want to learn more about that, then type in Woodgate Valley history. You will find it. I clicked on the top link and it gives me all the interesting information, so you can find some really good stuff about this place. But let's go and take a look around. Let's get some cinematics for you, and I'll be heading back home down the bottom bit from where I come from. But it's been a nice little walk actually in the weather like this. It's just nice to get out and about. You can just see that little brook system coming all the way down, look, just by the side of me. Going all the way into the middle of the Woodgate actually. Look at that. Yeah, into Woodgate Valley Park itself now. You can see I'm taking an off track. Now this actually brings you around by a load of woodland. You see all this is wood area by the side, but it does open up. You can take a path, but it'll bring you out by a bottom car park down the bottom. There's a big path what takes you all the way down to there. You can see, if I look over the fence, you can just see it's all farmland, all this is. But you'd imagine, like I mentioned, the history, what the old days would have been like over Woodgate. It would have been all old like trees situated over to here. Oh, look at that. It's getting a bit of views for you, look. But wow, it is lovely. It's a nice bit of an addition to come and take a look at if you've never had a walk over here. But wow. So yeah, I mean, listening up to the wildlife just surrounding. I do apologise about the wind, but you can hear the wildlife. I can see, just by my eyes up to there, I'm sure that's a jay. There's a jay right at the top of the tree, just at the far back. And I can see a few other little birds as well. There's absolutely so much, but it's a shame that I can't zoom in to show you. There is one singing right at the top of that tree up to there. I can see it and spot it. I've seen a jay as well, just. So you can just see the amount of wildlife which you do get over Woodgate Valley. It's just amazing just to sit here and watch it. You get your buzzards as well, or your other big birds. But yeah, this is basically all what Woodgate is. It's just all the surrounding tree land, open fields, which I just showed you. I ain't going to walk too far there because at the time I need to get back to Halesowen. But I just thought this was a quick video really, just to show you what Woodgate was, give you a bit of oversight, history, and I've really enjoyed just coming out to take a breath of fresh air. Even if you come to places like this for a quick walk, it just gets you out. But journeying our way back down to Halesowen, going all the way past the Abbey now, still a bit of a distance to go. But I want to give a big shout out to everybody who's been watching my videos all the way through. But thank you very much everybody, and stay tuned for any upcoming videos that I have. Got some more. Gonna have loads of interesting content upcoming for the summer as well for you. Much history and hopefully some wildlife as well if we're lucky. So thank you very much, and see you soon. Enjoy the cinematics.